Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Claire Renee, and today I just wanted to share what Yin Yoga is. Just bare minimum, just the basics, how we're supposed to be approaching it. What is it I'm supposed to be getting from this? Today is all about Yin, just basically what is it, what are we doing, what are we trying to accomplish? What is Yin Yoga? Simply, I say Yin Yoga is yoga for the joints. What that means is the ligaments, the tendons, the deep tissue, the fascia that surrounds and supports our muscles. That's what we're trying to get into. It's a passive approach to a deeper stretch in each asana. Unlike, our yang styles of yoga like vinyasa or hatha, where, maybe you're in warrior for, 3 to 5 breaths and you move on to the next thing, we are really focused on holding a pose and letting gravity take over. That is the passive part, where we're not turning on or firing up our muscles. We are not tensing up the jaw, grimacing up the face. Hold, breathe, fight to hold. That's not it. It's not your workout. It's not your other styles of yoga. It's not a power flow. It's none of that. It's the complete opposite. We want to bring cool energy throughout the body. A lot of yang brings heat to the body. What we're trying to accomplish is really just a quiet, meditative, and passive approach to a deep stretch in each asana that we take. That is just the basic, this is what Yin is, right? It's not the other forms of yoga that you might be used to, like a hatha or a vinyasa, where there's a lot of movement and then we hold maybe 3 to 5 breaths and move on, right? It's a lot of holding, right? So while I'm here, we're gonna move to basically the 3 principles or approaches to Yin Yoga that I think will help a lot of people understand what it is that's supposed to be happening and what's supposed to be going on. So the first one is to find your edge. So if we're going from a 0 to a 10, right, on a scale, we don't want to be at a 10. A 10 is pain, ow, get me out of this pose, right? An 8, 7, that's you trying to do the most and you're reaching and it's uncomfortable and you're tensing up and you can do it, but you can't hold it for more than 15 seconds and your breathing is probably shallow, right? So we don't want that either. We want about a 5, right? So a 5 is ooh, okay, I'm feeling a sensation. I'm feeling a deep stretch here, but I'm able to, keep my shoulders down and away from the ears. I'm able to inhale and exhale fully and it's not shallow. I don't have to grimace my face. I don't have to tense up my jaw. Those are all things we're looking for, because when those things happen or when we're turning on muscles, then we're negating the practice, right? We're trying to relax and just let gravity have its way, right? We let gravity take over. So it's not really a pushing it to the limit. It's not really pushing your boundaries. It's finding your sweet spot so that your body can then trust gravity to take it where it needs to go. And by the end of the pose, you'll probably find that, your chest has dropped, lower and closer to your leg. Or maybe you'll find that your knees have dropped lower to the ground and your hips have opened up a bit. So it's really just trusting the passive approach of just letting gravity do its thing. Second is stillness, finding stillness. Now this is very hard for a lot of people, including me, especially when I first started Yin Yoga. We live in a very yang society, so yin, yang. Yang is hot, fast-paced, go, grind, hustle, gotta get this done, gotta be there by 5, gotta be there by 3:30. That's how a lot of us live our lives in general. When you're doing a workout, that's how your body is moving. When you're doing a high intensity or cardio and you're pushing, or for me, if I'm on my, doing something on the Peloton app and, I'm trying to go and push my body and do better than I did yesterday. That's very yang. Perfectly fine, perfectly okay. Other styles of yoga are also yang, like vinyasa and hatha. Our objective here is to slow down and find stillness, allowing chi to flow through the body. So you've heard of prana in other styles of yoga, that's energy there. Since this is based in Chinese philosophy, yin and yang, we are focused on qi flowing through the body. We're focused on our emotional or physical or even mental release in this practice. And it almost does become kind of a meditative practice. We'll find ourselves in a meditative state when we are in an asana. So you can't find stillness if you haven't found your edge. So stay with me. If you haven't found your edge, that means you're probably reaching too far, or you're trying to go too far, push yourself too much, to the point where you're wiggling a lot and you're fidgeting a lot, trying to hold the pose and stay in the asana, right? We want to find stillness. So that's why I say find that sweet spot that allows you to still be able to focus on your deep inhale, your long exhale. It allows your shoulders to drop away. It allows you to turn off the muscles. So if you feel like your quads or your hamstrings or your shoulders need to be tightened up, be mindful to let that go, right? If you feel like your body is in this state, there's no way you're going to be able to hold the pose and be still. You're going to find that you need to move, or that you need to shift, or that you need to get comfortable again, or that you have to find the pose again. If you just go ahead with the intention of finding your sweet spot and not pushing too far but not doing too little, that allows you to find stillness so that you can focus on everything else that you need to focus on, which is staying connected to the breath and, finding release and finding that stretch that you need. When you allow yourself to find that stillness, I promise you that's when all the other stuff comes. So you find yourself dropping deeper into the stretch with probably not even noticing it. You find yourself a lot more relaxed, but you cannot be still if you're still trying to get comfortable, still trying to hold on to the pose because you're reaching too far. Back up a little bit, be able to hold it and be still, right? Which brings me to the last principle, which I've already kind of hinted at. Hold the pose, right? With yin yoga, beginners were holding 1 to 3 minutes is how long we're trying to hold an asana. As you get more advanced and you want to challenge yourself a little more, that can go anywhere from 5 to sometimes 10 minutes or more with a yin practice. But generally, in that beginner intermediate stage, anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes is how long we're going to be into a pose. So holding the pose requires you to be still. We're not fidgeting. You will realize some of the things that you do when you have to be still and you have to be with yourself and be quiet and find connection with the breath. A lot of us, that is hard. A lot of us get super anxious or restless when we have to just be still and hold something, right? So holding the pose for however long is allotted. That usually is based on what the teacher is going for, depending on the flow. So let's say we have an asana and I say we're going to hold this for 3 minutes today. It would make sense and it would behoove you to not go for the gusto and go for your deeper stretch in minute 1. In minute 1, this is when you do the fidgeting. This is when you figure out where your sweet spot is. This is where you figure out what works for you, so that then you're able to, by like that first minute or minute 15, you are in the pose, you're good to go, you're comfortable, shoulders are away from the ears, you're connected to your breath, you're holding the pose, you're being still. This is where we want to be. So that's what hold the pose means. It really just means the allotted time is how long you're holding the pose, and you should aim for that. Realize there's no competition. You're not competing with anyone else in the class or in the room. You're not even competing with yourself. You are aiming for what you can do in that moment on that day. Passive approach, and it's usually a very quiet approach. So usually what you should be looking for, or what teachers, I'll say, should be aiming for, is to give space for people to really be with themselves in the mat. Yes, this practice is hard because you have to be with yourself. It's literally forcing you to be with yourself and then connect with your breath to a point where maybe that gets so comfortable for you that like you can just be. Hey, even I'm not there yet on most days, but it really is a beautiful feeling when you're in a pose and you're connected to your breath and you're just here. The mind is clear, you know? So that's another goal for yin. I know for sure I couldn't get that right away. It can be a great, emotional release, mental release, physical release. It can give you relief. Yin is great for helping with blockages of energy that we need to open up. It's great to just get, that cooler energy flowing throughout the body to help support our organs and our nervous system and our, emotional well-being. It's great for so many things. I will say, it is done on a cool body. When we do approach yin yoga, if by chance you don't have the time in the day to, do it later when your body has cooled off after a workout, and you come into yin yoga, right after you've done some cardio or some high intensity, in general, though, you do want to try and approach a yin practice when your body is cold, or in the evening when you've had your day, or when you've just woken up in the morning and you haven't done anything yet. Your body is cold. So you can figure that out on your own personal journey. By no means am I telling you this is how you do it all the time and this is how it must be done. Just giving you, what is kind of standard for the practice. So I hope that this video was helpful. I just wanted to get out and share what it is yin is supposed to do for you. What am I supposed to be getting from it? You can get so much from it. It's different for everybody. It's a different experience for everybody, which is why I say I like it to be a quiet practice, and I want to not impose my feelings or what I think the practice should be for somebody else. It's quiet because I want you to have that time with yourself to figure out what it is your body is feeling, whether it's physical, whether it's an emotional thing, whether it's a thought that comes up for you in a certain pose. It's all what you can get from it. It's all how it works for you and how you make it work for you. And that's the beautiful thing about yin. Yes, there are alignment cues. Yes, there are, certain ways to approach a pose so that you're not hurting yourself or doing it, essentially wrong. But I want us to get that out of our minds too. There's no absolute wrong way to do a pose sometimes. Sometimes my body will look different than yours. I have very tight hips. So if you see me on camera and my hips are up here and yours are down here, it doesn't mean that you're wrong and I'm right. It means our bodies are at different places and they're built different ways. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was in some way, shape, or form helpful or useful, or at least brought some clarity to the yin practice and what's supposed to be going on. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the information or enjoyed any of my videos. And with that being said, I'll leave you with be well, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.